So the question of the day is, in 2026, is it financially worthwhile to go to school to become a physical therapist? Well, let's look at it. I want to start by saying there's a lot more that goes into a career decision than just the numbers and the money. But for today's video, I really want to just focus on the finances. So in order to compare physical therapy towards other professions, I wanted to look at other healthcare professions that weren't medical doctors. And to get this information, it's not easy. You go to a lot of different websites. I try to get a ballpark estimate for each of these professions to see what their average salary was. But obviously, it depends a lot on location and your subspecialty, etc. So let's look at nurse practitioners. They're bringing home about $130,000 per year. Nurse anesthetists, $215,000 per year. And yes, I know nurse anesthetists, they're making close to $300,000 per year. Anesthesiology assistants, $200,000 per year. Pharmacists and physician assistants, $140,000 per year. And let's look at physical therapists. We're close to $105,000 per year. And this is all for basically the same opportunity cost and the same amount of education and debt. So, is it financially worth it? Just your knee-jerk reaction is, well, you look at anesthesiology assistants and nurse anesthetists. They're making, over twice what we're making. But is it really twice? I want you to look at the numbers with me. See if you can follow me on this. Let's say you're an anesthesiology assistant and you're bringing home $200,000 per year. Now, you're going to be taxed at a 32% tax rate. So when all is said and done, you're really bringing home $136,000 per year. And let's say your cost of living is $60,000. So when all is said and done, your take-home savings at the end of the year is $76,000 per year. So let's say theoretically you were to put that all into the stock market at 9% compounding interest year after year. After 20 years, you have $3.88 million. Pretty good. Let's look at a physical therapist doing the same thing. So if you're a physical therapist, let's say you're making $100,000 per year, you're going to be taxed at a 22% tax rate. So when all is said and done, you're now bringing home $78,000 per year. Let's say your cost of living is that same $60,000. So your total savings at the end of the year is really $18,000. Let's say you could put all of that into the stock market, 9% return year after year. After 20 years, you now have $920,000. So compare that to the anesthesiology assistant with $3.88 million. They really have over 4 times what we made. So I think that's a good thing to consider because when you really think about life, your career is a big part of it, but there's also your personal life. So think about that kind of money. You can decide where you're going to live, what kind of house you're going to have. Do you have a vacation home? What kind of vacations can you take? What kind of traveling can you do to experience life? And to me, the biggest thing is you have freedom of choice. That's what money really means to me. You have that dignity. You're not stuck grinding and stressed out working for somebody else to make them rich. You have a lot more freedom of choice of where you're going to work. And the other thing I want to say is for all those salary numbers, that's just working as a staff clinician. That's not owning your own business. So when you really consider physical therapy as an option versus these other options, that's basically the same opportunity and investment cost. To me, it's a no-brainer. In 2026, I don't think it's really financially worthwhile to become a physical therapist. But that being said, if you're already a physical therapist, there are definitely ways that you can make a lot more money, and that's what a lot of my videos are going to focus on. So I hope to see you in my next video.